Well, hello again. Today I want to talk to you about setting and dressing knots, which is something you've heard me mention in these videos pretty much interchangeably, but and sometimes wrongly, but they are different. Setting a knot is basically tightening it, and dressing a knot is making it tidy. Now that might seem academic, but it is important. I'll show you one place where it is particularly important. On other videos you've seen how to make a barrel knot. So we make a loop and then we come back over the standing part, we come up through both loops, and if we dress that up, keeping that shape, we end up with our barrel knot with a sort of cross on one side and double tram lines on the other side. Let's have a look what can happen if we don't dress it neatly. Same thing again. I'm going to tie this loop a bit bigger this time to make the point. There's our first loop, there's our second loop. I'm going to make that a little bit smaller, could easily happen. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, without paying too much attention, I'm going to just pull that up tight and the knot will form. But hang on, that doesn't look like a barrel knot to me. Kind of does, superficially. But this is in fact a double overhand knot. It's worth tying double overhand knots and barrel knots and comparing them, because the barrel knot is a much more secure knot if you're tying it and depending on it on a climbing situation, for example. Let's see how that happened again. Over the standing part again, and through the two, and then what I've done is I've allowed this second loop to pull through the first loop, and you end up with a double overhand knot. So it's important then, if you want a barrel knot and not a double overhand knot, that you dress it carefully. There's the first loop, there's the second loop, and through, and we've basically got our knot constructed, but it's loose. So what we need to do is just dress the knot up and take up all the slack. That's what dressing means, really, taking up all the slack and keeping it all in place, so that when you get to the point where you set the knot and tighten it, that can no longer flip, that can no longer, there's no way that's going to now turn into a double overhand knot by mistake. Now we have our strong, secure and safe barrel knot. And well dressed knots are also easier to recognize and to double check. If you've got your climbing partner looking at the knots, sometimes you've got a bit of a bird nest. It might technically be right, but it's very hard to double check. So there we are, setting and dressing. Dressing the knot is just keeping it all in the right shape as you take out the slack, so that you end up with a knot that you want. And then setting the knot is basically tightening it. There's our barrel knot. Set and dressed.